Oh my goodness, the 200 butterfly 20 years ago. I remember it actually like it was yesterday. It was my last of 6 races actually 7 races during that games. I was exhausted physically, but more so mentally. And I remember having a moment with myself in the mirror where I was speaking to myself and said, this is it, Summer, this is your last chance for gold at these Olympic Games. Do it for yourself. And then I walked out. I swam my race completely opposite of the way I usually do. I usually take it out and I'm out in front. This time around, I was way behind. I was 5th at the first lap, the first turn, 3rd at the second turn, 3rd at the 3rd turn, and then it was neck and neck, 3 of us coming down, and I still watch the finish, and I look at it, and it doesn't look like I touched the wall first, but somehow I did. And I turned around and saw the 1 next to my name, and I let out the biggest scream in the history, and it was wonderful. I think that was the moment of seeing the 1 next to my name. The feeling of relief was extraordinary, and then I immediately wanted to find my family. And if I could have teleported myself into my family's section and then teleported all of us home, that would have been the perfect situation for me. And that's why where I'm sitting right now is so perfect, because I'm in the P&G home here in London. P&G has put together a 65,000 square foot home for the athletes and their family where they can do just that. They can come and collect themselves, relax, be normal during the games and after they're done competing or during their competition. Ooh, interesting, the underdog. Well, I have to say, Colin Jones surprised me and I think the world with his performance at Olympic trials in the 50 free and the 100 free. Frankly, I think he surprised himself a little bit, and he had to believe he was going to make it going into it, but I think he shocked himself. So I would love for him to shock the world once again when it came time for his individual races and the relay. And I think his presence on the team is being felt. He's a really positive guy with a lot of emotion, and I think that he can not only bring home medals himself, but sort of lift other people up around him. So Colin Jones, I think Matt Grievers was really exciting to watch at the Olympic trials. And then there's this young girl, the youngest Olympian on the US squad, Katie Ledecky. And distance swimming in the US, we have not seen that dominant force of Janet Evans. So I would love to see Katie Ledecky surprise everyone and touch the wall and give that like grown-up celebration fist pump that she gave at trials in Omaha. Honestly, I'm excited to see all of them. I love my races, and my favorite race of all time is the 200 IM. That will be exciting on the men's side because, again, it'll be the showdown of Michael Phelps and Ryan Lochte. But the first race of the games on the men's side will be probably the most exciting, 400 IM. I did not enjoy swimming that race when I was an athlete, but it was one of my races. It's extremely painful. It is the toughest race we have in our sport. So the very first night, the men, one of those 2 men will be taking home a gold medal, and it'll be exciting to see who it is. And the great part about cheering for these athletes and finding your favorite sport and your favorite event within that sport is that you have the opportunity at home to cheer for Team USA. All you have to do is go on facebook.com/Duracell and click on virtual stadium. And if you can see me, Nick, I have the virtual stadium behind me, and literally it's just this giant wall with messages from everyone back in the States cheering on Team USA. And it's that feeling of home court advantage. Even though in London they do speak English, it's not on home soil. So the athletes feeling that support and that cheering from everyone back home makes a big difference. Well, it's interesting. When it comes to relays in the United States, we have a ton of pride. And it's pretty exciting to be in those team meetings when they're talking about relays. Because athletes dig deep, as I'm sure you remember from 2008 and Jason Lezak, and the most incredible relay split and leg of all time. I think everyone collectively around the world was on their feet wondering whether or not he could do it. It was extraordinary what he did. So, and he's on the team again. He qualified 6th. So there's a chance he will be on at night for the relay, but the chances are slim. but his presence there will be huge. And so the 4x100 freestyle for men is going to be, it's going to be a battle. That's going to be the toughest gold, I think, for Team USA when it comes to the relays. The French and the Aussies, I think, offhand. But the French, they want it. I mean, if you remember, they were the ones that just barely missed it 4 years ago. So I'm sure that that's fueled their fire big time. On the women's side, the women have you know, over the years not been as strong in the relays, so it'll be tougher for them. But you know, I've never seen a faster 100 heat on the women's side, so I think that if there's a chance for them to take home, for the USA to take home the gold, this will be it. Missy Franklin is swimming 7 events. Everybody's talking about how many medals is Michael Phelps going to bring home? How many medals is Ryan Lochte going to win? Missy Franklin is competing in the same number of events, and actually it's the most by any American woman in a single Olympic Games for the sport of swimming. So Missy, and the cool thing about Missy, honestly, is she just has this incredible way about her. There's a lot of pressure, we think, on her shoulders, but somehow she just handles it with such ease, and you know, like she's a veteran, like this is her 4th Olympics or something. So with that being said, I think she's going to be really exciting to watch. It's the perfect mix between youthfulness and excitement, but yet poise and confidence. To simplify everything, to not get caught up in the chaos, and hop on those blocks and keep it as simple as possible, and pretend it's your age group meet and your coaches and your parents are right on the side, and afterwards you're going to do the normal thing you always do, go home. Whether it's the P&G home or your regular home, you're just going to be with friends and family. If you simplify it, everything is smooth.